Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is January 22nd, 2015. Happy birthday, everybody. Um, I'm going to start today off by reviewing today's price action and going over my thoughts on tomorrow. And then my trades, of course. So as you can see on this perforated line, prices fell from yesterday's close temporarily, but they rose at the open fairly rapidly. I mean, that was a good, let's see here. Closed at 2032, high of 2045. So, yeah, that's, a good 13 points higher. And then found a low of the day. So this morning was very hairy. And ended up creating a very nice trend line confirmation that I went over in my last videos that I'm going to go ahead and show you again. There it is. So yeah, as you can see today, prices rose and then fell to that trend line, a little bit below the trend line, but closed above it, and then rose from there, which was great. But unfortunately, due to a single-engined airplane hovering my apartment between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m., I was unable to fall asleep. So I had a horrible night's sleep, and I'll show it to you in my today's executions, how it resulted. It was fantabulous, guys. If you ever try sleeping 3 hours and then doing what I do, trade in some type of, you know, I don't even know how to describe what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I think it's a slightly new profession, given that, technical trading on this type of scale, being on the West Coast and markets opening on the East Coast and not being on the East Coast or in the financial industry. But closely knowing the knowledge of that's held close to heart in the financial industry. I mean, that's what I do. So if I have a horrible night's sleep, I only get 3 hours of sleep between 3 and 6, and I wake up groggy. This is what happens. All right, so yesterday I told you I was in the box. I informed you, or I let you know I was in the box. Here, let me show you my position so you can see it again. Right now I'm short UVXY, but long 1000 TVX. But today's executions varied as such. I sold my UWTI, the gas play, the natural gas play I was talking about. I sold that at 9:35 a.m. So that was very, very early in the day. 9:35, yeah. So that was like right on this candlestick when it opened. I just wasn't feeling the natural gas play in relative terms to what I felt the market was doing, but I was falling asleep at the same time. So I wasn't able to follow through with the conclusions that led me to sell this UWTI, but I did sell it and sold it for a slight profit. That 600 I bought 304, I sold at 310 and rode the rest down. I think it closed at 280 something. Closed at 287. So I took a little bit of a loss there, $2 a share from 310. It wasn't that big of a deal. I was all right with it. Regardless, getting back to that 2 day and my executions, ended up falling asleep at that point right here, and I couldn't stay awake to save my life. And prices found that support level on that trend line. As you can see, it was on the 8 days here. Right there. Same thing as it did yesterday, except it just went a little bit higher first and then found support on the trend line afterwards, and then closed considerably higher where higher afterwards. Tomorrow I'm expecting a retrace, maybe to this mid Keltner range, uh, as extreme bullish, but honestly, I don't expect it to fall past this 2059, this range right here. If it does, I mean, this mid Keltner is pretty hairy. Um, so getting back to the executions, I ended up buying the TVIX at 1236 today, and getting back 2 day go. The 1236 trade 1236. So right in this range. On this candlestick between that mid sideways action point. I mean, I guess mid would be more like maybe here. So a couple ticks after that mid on the 5, 10 minutes after the midpoint, all the sideways action movement. I was expecting maybe prices to turn down here, but they didn't. They ended turning up, and I saw that and ended up selling my box position, putting me short UVXY at 143. So that was at this candlestick here. Ended up not taking any risk in regards to my 1,000 share short position. TVX having the markets going down and markets rose. So I was pretty much even keel. The ratio is about right. UVXY is trading at 25 and TVIX is trading at 2.8. So it's literally a 10 to 1 ratio, essentially. So I'm all right. I'm pretty much neutral on the sidelines in regards to my positions. Um, but I am very disappointed because I couldn't fall asleep and I lost out on a lot of opportunity costs because I couldn't fall asleep in regards to this single engine jet plane hovering my apartment between the hours of 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. I mean, honestly, to goodness, who or what entity do you know that does that? What airplane? It has to be some type of private organization because any type of public mandated organization like the police department or any type of ABC algorithm or anything like that that has mandated positions to be in, they're not going to be hovering for 5 hours in the same area. I mean, when you're trying to fall asleep and all you hear is the single engine jet plane just and its intensity revolves around the same time right when I fall asleep, I couldn't take it. And it cost me a lot of money and opportunity costs, and I'm upset about it. And this is when you hear me being upset about it, is during this time, during these post market videos, because honestly, this is real life. This is what happens if you want to be a trader. Shit goes down. You could be living in an apartment building and the married couple upstairs is arguing and some shit goes down that doesn't allow you to fall asleep when you are scheduled to fall asleep. I mean, I fell asleep yesterday at 9 p.m., woke up at 10 an hour later, went to bed to walk from my couch to the bed at 10 p.m. and couldn't fall asleep from 10 to 3 because of this freaking plane. And I was dead tired. I was passed out on my couch. And I usually have no problems whatsoever falling asleep at that point. Anyways, that's besides the point. But that's what got me agitated. So I guess with all these little losses involved with UWTI and that TVIX prospect, I was down I think like about $100. So it's what it is at this point. But I'm still up for the week on target for my goals. Um, I'm really not feeling up to giving a prospect for tomorrow, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway because that's just what kind of guy I am. As you can see, this trend line is forming way below these lower Bollinger lines, and there's a lot of support here. In regards to averages in the Bollinger Bands, the Keltner range is the mid support range. Um, I will. There's no real price action support like there is here, up here. So if prices do fall, I'm not expecting them to fall very far, just because there's not a lot of support here. Maybe to this 2057 level for an intraday low tomorrow, and then create some type of reverse head and shoulders or sideways action, and to fall further back down to there. Because the prices where they are now, falling back down to where they actually are relative to fair price value for the last couple of days is way down there. So I would expect tomorrow. Let me get to the daily so I can show you what I'm seeing. The daily to develop into something tomorrow if that price action does develop a little bit higher high, and then down to this area, this 2050 range, and then producing some type of like red indecision bottom tail candle. Um, but that could very well be a head fake, just given what's going on in in currency markets and oil and everything, and where prices close today is pretty bullish. So maybe if a retrace does happen, that 2050 level would act as some type of handle to a cup and handle pattern, and then rise from there. Um, yeah, any resistance level here, I think, would be negated for this upper Bollinger Band if prices were to continue rising. Yeah, and it could happen fairly rapidly as they did here. So, um, we shall see. Prices are definitely developing an interesting type of price action here. The last 8 days, 5 days, 6 more trading days in the month, and we shall have the end of the month. Um, prospect. Here, let me bring up the monthly. Yeah, so we're already bullish for the month here. I mean, we could very well close, at the top of that monthly pattern, which was, what did it open at? 2058. So this opened at 2065. So it'd still be a lower low, but I don't know. It's a lower low, but a lower high. All types of indecision happening at this point after. Seems like it was this November that pretty much did it. I mean, this low was taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 prior months low. That's what that month did. And I'm thinking maybe this acts as a high here, or at least this trend line says this 2101. If prices do end up rising, and we end up in February testing this 1872 range, some shit goes down. So this is the 60-minute going down on the weekly. Definitely looking for that cup and handle to develop. If that does, that 2034 range looks hairy, but it is where a lot of support lies, as well as accelerating trend line higher. So we could find support more or less in the average range of 2045 rather than the 2050. If this isn't the top, because this is still, I mean, if we did include this in the trend line, Yeah, none of that works out. So, yeah, I mean, you know what? It could be painful to take a long position, but that could be the correct trade in relative terms to how markets are trading right now. I mean, this is very it's very bullish. This downward trend line was broken today. As you can see, prices close a little bit up and then higher, and then so very bullish. It's very bullish. 2108 could be target for tomorrow if prices exceed all the nonsense that happened here and here. Extreme move. That's that upper Bollinger Band level, and to be honest, any resistance if prices do rise beyond this point is kind of negligible. I mean, here, really, you think there's going to be a double top there? I mean, even if there is a double top there, that's a cup and handle play from formation with a retrace down to 2074. This bottom Keltner is going to be up, and so yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I think it's going to remain volatile. And I'll let you know how my positions turn out tomorrow, what I decide to do. I'm thinking about, if prices do end up dipping to this 2050 level, covering the or buying those UVXY shares to put me back in the box UVXY, and, and then selling the or not putting me back in the box, but um short. Yeah, I guess I would have to short. I'd have to probably buy because I'm long that TVIX. So I'd probably sell the TVIX at that 2051 level and then put myself back in the box if prices don't rise beyond a certain point relatively close to that UVXY short being put back in the box. Before that, TVIX for tomorrow has some playroom. They have the body of today that was formed up to the lower mid-range Bollinger, which could be very probable, and then back down. So we would develop something like this here, and then this candle down here would be type of bottoming out candlestick, but we'd come to that level right here. So I see pretty much a slightly similar candlestick happening here as terms of the body goes, excluding the tail and the head, forming for tomorrow, and then a rise in price up into that mid Bollinger point again, or until right here. Why aren't you drawing? Draw. 1642. Yeah. So that would be the retrace level for tomorrow if prices were to fall to that point and retrace back up. If they don't retrace tomorrow for today, if that makes any sense. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll be sure to update you on what happens with those positions regarding that UWTI. I don't know what crude oil is volatile right now. It makes me anxious. It makes me anxious. And then I'll let you know what I decide to do with the UVXY short. I'm currently 100 shares, and my TVX that I'm long 1,000 shares. So TVX long 1,000, UVX short 100, and UTWY long 200. Till mañana. Bye bye.